Hi, I'm William Moss, and today I'm on the rooftop of Home Depot's world headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Spring is here, and the rooftop beds are looking like last year's bad news. But I've got a few ideas, and fortunately, a few friends too. Well, look at here, the Gardenieres, all the
William.
We got Gina from Chicago, we've got Jim from Florida, and Tina from California. These beds are in bad shape. They really need some help.
Yeah, we need to get all this stuff out of here and get started, because I want to plant my rose bush. I want to have flowers. I want people to come out and just be like in awe of the beauty and the color. It's going to be great.
And I'm going to build a vertical element right in the center of my area. It's going to have edibles in it with the flower on top cascading down, and then some landscape plants around it.
Awesome.
Yep.
And what I want to do is I want to have a sensory garden. I'm going to include some things that you can touch and smell, maybe even taste.
Well, I'm going to play off your taste and build an edible garden full of nice summer veggies and things that we can sample.
Yum, yum.
Great.
So there's a lot to be done, though, because these beds are in bad shape. So let's get to work. We pull all this stuff out.
Okay,
get at
cool.
it.
And the very first step that we need to take whenever we're replanting an existing bed is to refresh this soil. And I'm going to do that by adding a couple of bags of moisture control potting soil. So it's going to be a great happy home for these new plants we're going to be putting in. Take out the last little bits of old roots. The next step is we're going to go ahead and design our bed by actually laying out the plants and seeing how they look. So I've got some great lantana. It has, of course, beautiful bright orange flowers, but it also has a really nice scent and it attracts butterflies. Snapdragons are really, really fun. So we're going to use that to give some additional color. Then I have a lovely assortment of herbs. Basil is going to go towards the back. It gets tall. Oregano is a ground cover, so we're going to put that towards the front. Same with the bee balm, another ground cover. Any little open spots we have, I'm going to plant these pinks. They have a lovely, nice, spicy smell. I think it's looking pretty good, but I'm going to step back just a little, get a little perspective, make sure that everything's where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting it in the ground. We'll firm the soil around it. We'll continue in that same manner with all of the pots. Tickle those roots a little bit so that you have them hanging down. With these peat pots, you can actually plant the whole pot. This material will completely degrade. You want this peat pot not to be sticking up above the ground. So tear off that little lip and make sure that the soil is covering all of the peat pot so that it doesn't dry out.
So this is a really nice rose bush, and I think I want to put it in a different place. So we're going to transplant it. I'm going to carefully dig it out and move it and put it in somewhere else. So I've already got the hole dug here. I added a little of the potting mix, and now we're going to put our transplanted rose in, and then we're going to add back more mix. So you want to make sure that your roots are properly seated, none of them are sticking out, and you don't want to plant it too low because you want the woody stems to be above ground. So we're using our marigolds here sort of as a border around our rose bush, and we have some petunias existing. We want to sort of stagger our colors in, make them look like they're hanging out together. The rose bush here is pretty tall, so you might want to flank it with some taller collections of plants. So right now we're going to get some kalanchoe, nice focal point for your eyes. And then we've got some lantana in yellows. We've also got some wonderful coleus, this multicolored pink and green. And then we have some snapdragons. And dianthus does fill out and spread nicely. And then we'll use this nice rich color interspersed here as a border. We're going to have the edge be sort of uneven so that it naturally blends with the next area. Great, now all we have to do is get things actually planted in the ground.
Well, I'm going to make a vertical element to this garden, which basically is a couple of tomato support baskets. Then this is just some filter cloth, weed cloth, around the outside of this. I will take the moisture control potting mix, cut some slits in it so we can have the places for the strawberries to live. And I'm gonna tie this up with a couple snap ties just because it keeps wanting to fall down. Here come the strawberries. Opening up a hole, easing the plant in, closing up that on it so that looks good. And we're just gonna keep going around. Biodegradable pots are nice because you can just stick them right in there. And we're gonna put our nice little Mona lavender at the top, which is an excellent pseudo-annual. Filling all the gaps, keep the air pockets out of the way. That's a fast way to kill something is with air pockets. Okay, well now I'm gonna amend the soil with this Miracle Grow moisture control potting mix. Put down a couple inches of it and then turn it into the soil. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with these hostas, which are gonna get big and fluffy. Then we've got these liriope, which is a very good border grass. I just love the looks of them. They get a nice purple flower in late summer. Okay, we've got some New Guinea impatiens, which are a nice full sun impatient, which is kind of odd. These are awesome sweet potato vine. Very good, fast growing plants, got a very light color, and they will fill in and trail over the edges is what I'm hoping for on this one. So we'll just throw a few items in. So I'm gonna get ready to drop these in the ground. Well, as you notice, some of these say shade. Some of this plant material here, this can definitely take the sun because I use that constantly in the sun. These guys here, sometimes they do like the shade, but with the proper care and the right amount of water, they should do just fine in the sun.
So since we're doing vegetables in particular, we really want to make sure we get some nice, good potting mix mixed into this bed. Want to amend it well so that the roots are able to get all the nutrients they need and have the proper drainage. Okay, so I got my spacing the way I want it here. The tomato is probably going to get the widest of any of these plants, so it has plenty of room, 2 feet on either side. So we got our tomato, and I'm going to show you a really cool way to plant tomatoes. You want to plant them deeper than they are in the pot. That's going to give you a little bit more stability for your tomato, and it'll root in a little better, and the more roots on a tomato, the more fruit you get. And notice he's a little bit lower than he was before, so any leaf underneath the ground has to come off. Just tuck these down. They'll serve as a good compost for the roots as they decompose. Fill in all around it. All right, next, we'll put the pepper in. Now this one you want to plant at the same height. You want it to be exactly where it was in the pot. All right, so now we'll fill in with some of our smaller plants. Now this is a fairly full garden. We've got okra, which is going to get big and take up all this space. Marigolds have the ability to repel bad guys and attract good guys. So aphids, whiteflies don't like marigolds, while butterflies and bees and things that are going to pollinate our fruits do like marigolds. The reason we're adding herbs is because we need something to spice it up. Of course, I have to put water down, but before I do, I want to go check on Tina because I see a lot of color on this end of the bed. Looks great, Tina.
Hey, thanks, William.
Lots of color.
Lots of things to smell.
Yeah.
We got the rosemary, great scent. And we got things you can taste with our herbs.
You hit all the senses.
I hope so.
So you're almost done.
Almost done. The last thing is to water it in really well.
Right.
And then about 30 days from now, I need to put it on a regular feeding program so that we have healthy, vigorous plants throughout the growing season.
Okay, let me go check on the other guys.
Great.
We wanted to create something that would really be pleasing to the eye with the rose bush as a focal point.
It looks really nice.
It's great. We just got to get it some water.
Okay.
And then probably in about a month or so, we'll start feeding on a regular basis.
Sounds good.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Let's see what Jim's up to over here. Jim, that is pretty cool.
Well, thanks, William.
I love how you combined the foliage with the flowers, and it looks like a landscape.
We got all this material from the local Home Depot right here.
Look at this. Isn't this nice?
Wow, that turned out
A
awesome.
wonderful mix of foliage.
So this shows you all the things that you can do in a raised bed or a container, whether it be on a rooftop, balcony, patio, wherever. You can do a landscape garden like Jim put together, a sensory garden like Tina did, or flowers like Gina did, even something edible. Go check out Gardenieres.com for tips from the greatest gardeners on the planet. Get out and grow.